Hello, Kennedy artists. I'm sorry I couldn't be here today. Today you're going to be working on a tropical fish and their habitat lesson. Your substitute teacher will give you a folder, tropical fish. Inside you're going to find tracers. Some of the fish have rounded fins. Some of them have pointed fins. When you decide which one you would like to use, you're going to take it and you're going to put it on your white sheet of paper. And the fish could be facing either direction. So I chose to have my fish facing this way, but I also could have had it this way. I'm not going to cut this out at this time because when I'm coloring I want to be able to go off the edge. Right away I'm going to write my name in the corner so we know whose fish this is. And so now we're going to start with markers, and I'm going to mark off kind of my big areas. There's a sheet with tropical fish ideas. So looking at that right away, I'm going to mark off where I'm going to be placing my eye. And I'm going to draw a line here for the back fin and a line here for the bottom fin. I also want a different color at the end of the tail. I'm not going to get into smaller details like dots or stripes yet, only big areas. So if I wanted to change a whole color, I'm going to add a side fin. And I want a couple larger stripes on this fish. And our base color on these fish is going to be done with marker. So if I've decided I would like this end part here to be green, and I would avoid a lot of blue except in maybe smaller areas because a lot of the habitat, the ocean, is going to be blue. I would like this stripe to be orange. New one. And so now I'm going to time lapse so that you can see this entire fish getting colored with marker a little bit quicker. All right, now that we have the base color on our fish with marker, we're going to get out Cray-Pos and add some of the detail. So the sorts of things I'm talking about are the lines of the bones in the fins and the tails, maybe the polka dots or other markings you see, lines around the eyes of the fish, maybe scales, and this is all going to depend on what you decide to add. So I'm just going to talk through some things while I'm adding them. I've decided I'm going to start with the bones in the top fin, and I chose a white that's really going to show up on that dark purple. You can see I'm going back and forth a few times to make a really nice bold line that's going to stick out. And as the fin gets bigger, I'm making my line fatter. I want the top and the bottom to match. And as I'm looking at this, I would like to add a little shadow right along the edge of that white line with blue. And since I don't have blue anywhere else and I'm kind of looking, I saw the detail around the eye of this fish here. And I think I'm going to make that happen right here. Cleaning up the edge of that. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my markers and give my fish its pupil. I'm leaving a little tiny shiny spot there. I'm going to make my fish's mouth stick out a little bit more. There's kind of a bony plate there. And because I don't have red anywhere else, I think I want some of the dots like I see on this fish and this fish. And I'm pressing hard to get that red color to show up nice and bold on top of my marker. I'm going to do some time lapse so it's a little bit quicker as I finish this fish so you can see what other details I'm going to add. All right, now that I've finished adding all my detail to my fish, I won't be coloring on it anymore. I am ready to cut it out carefully. I'm gonna make sure I keep my scraps because I'm gonna be using those for another reason. All right, before I forget, I'm gonna flip my fish over and write my name on the back, and it can go off to the side. Now we're going to talk about the tropical fish habitat. We're going to look at a coral reef. Your substitute teacher will put some images up on the smart board. This is one of them. And I have some scrap paper here that I'm going to start to use. So I'm going to go ahead and draw some coral or seaweed. And I can turn this paper all different directions to use whatever scrap pieces I have. I'm going to use this piece over here for some wavy seaweed. And in this next time-lapse sequence, you're going to see me color these first with marker and then add Cray-Pas, much like we did with our fish. So they kind of match, they belong in the same artwork. And just like that, we have our tropical fish and we have some pieces of the habitat. You can see just by layering and overlapping, I can make it look like the fish is swimming in front of my coral but behind this seaweed. Or that this coral is in front of that coral. At this point, your sub will either have you add your tropical fish to a whole class background or an individual blue paper background. And that will be kind of up to them and how much time it has taken your group to work on this. I hope you had a great day, and I'll see you later.